It's The Pet Show with Dr. Katy Nelson.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Pet Show. I am Dr. Katy Nelson. This half hour, we focus on everything regarding your beloved pets, and we always want to hear from you. So please feel free to email us at petshow, that's one word, at news8.net. Coming up on the show today, we're learning all about the White Coat Waste, a campaign about saving animals and taxes by cutting the root problem, wasteful government spending. We'll also hear from one of our favorite CEOs who took a 15-hour drive to rescue a monkey who had been kept as a pet. Stick around to hear about what he found and his efforts of his organization, Born Free USA. Plus, we have all you need to know about caring for ferrets with our favorite exotic pet veterinarian, Dr. Lori Hess. And we have a truly adorable adoptable in our studio who just can't wait to be a part of your forever home. Look at that face. But let's begin with this week's Shed Lines. Like we always do, this is animal news that you may or may not have heard about. Denver International Airport hosted its second annual Puppy Bowl, and it certainly did not disappoint. Airport officials thought it was a good way to celebrate Super Bowl week and to give travelers a reason to smile. People of all ages watched and played with the puppies, and the airport partnered with Dumb Friends League to teach them about pet adoptions. How cute is that? A dog pulled from freezing waters. The big mastiff was treading water in the Cedar River for more than 10 minutes. That's when fishermen Jason and Chad Conkling jumped into action. They took their boat out to the dog and pulled her out. The brothers say that when they saw her, she was barely moving, and when they looked into her eyes, it was as though she was saying thank you. And a 10-week-old puppy that had a 5-inch metal rod through his head and eyes underwent a successful surgery in Pennsylvania. Police are still investigating who could have done this to him. The rod went through his brain and eyes. Doctors are confident he'll regain eyesight in at least one of his eyes. And the good news is, as you can see, he's already doing well on his road to recovery. Well, the White Coat Waste Project is making waves in our area and around the country. They strive to expose and eliminate the extreme waste, secrecy, and abuse in the government's $15 billion annual taxpayer-funded animal experimentation budget. Here telling us more about that are Anthony Bellotti and Julie Germany. You guys are hard at work, and I think that a lot of people don't really know that there is an animal experimentation budget, and that's what you guys are truly out to expose and out to change.
Yes, thanks. That's exactly right. Most folks don't know that it's not really the problem anymore. It's not really big cosmetic companies or big pharmaceutical companies. The real problem in terms of who's really doing the most of this is big government. Government became the market maker for this problem. Mm-hmm. They'll spend more on this problem than all the private sector combined. That means, translation, you and me. Yeah. We're forced to pay this on April 15th.
This is unbelievable. And, the other thing that I was reading from your blog, Julie, on your website was that we don't really have any idea how many animals are actually in this whole mess that our government has created either, do we?
There's been a complete lack of transparency about how many animals and what taxpayer dollars are actually going to spend money on. Mm-hmm. A lot of these projects are repeat projects. They're experiments that are done over and over and over again with very little correlation to helping humans.
That's crazy. And so we're talking about, we've talked a lot before about cosmetic industry with testing bunnies and mice, but this goes a lot farther than just bunnies and mice, which obviously we're still concerned about.
Yeah, but they're equal opportunity abusers.
Absolutely, but there's so many more animals in here that we just wouldn't think of.
Man and woman's best friend.
Yeah, dogs. Cows, aren't cows a huge part of this as well?
You name it. If you can think of the animal species, it's being abused, and it's being abused in the Beltway with tax dollars by agencies like Department of Veterans Affairs, USDA, EPA, NIH, all of them.
And these are incredibly expensive, very painful projects that don't we find better results with the other new and the new experiments that we have, like the cell cultures and things like that?
No question about it.
We have more reliable results and less expensive results without the loss of animal life.
We have 21st century science, not Victorian era science.
Right. So, talk to the viewers out there who've never heard of this before, and, tell them what they need to know, and tell us what we need to do to help you guys change this.
Well, this is great timing. Only last week, our team, in conjunction with a bipartisan delegation on Capitol Hill, sponsored by Representative Ken Calvert, Republican from California, and Democrats in the House, we helped launch the first animal testing bill of 2017 of the new Congress, the first one. It's called the FACT Act for Federal Accountability in Chemical Testing. Okay. It's the first one. We launched that last week, and its goal is very simple. We believe taxpayers have a right to know who's paying for animal testing, and we believe taxpayers have a right to know who's cashing the checks on behalf of animal experimenters. The most important thing we can do now, especially in the wake of the current scandal, of the blackout, with the USDA removing all the transparency on this stuff, is to get behind the FACT Act, call Congress and tell them to support this bill.
Okay. And this is going to help to increase as you said, the transparency in this. So there is a part of this that is demanding to know exactly how many animals are involved in this as well? Right.
Stricter, much better reporting requirements from the government agencies who are doing this, like the USDA and the EPA. We have laws on the books. The problem is the transparency is so poor. We just don't know. We say 15 billion. The truth is we've heard estimates that could be as high as 20 billion. We don't know. We know the floor. We know what they admit to. We don't know the ceiling.
Unbelievable. $15 billion are being spent to do these things. And you mentioned that a lot of them were repetitive. I mean, what type of things are we discussing there?
Well, in some cases, I don't know what we want to go into today, Anthony, but...
Just look at the last investigation we just did. Before FACT Act dropped, we found they were feeding potato chips to these animals. We found they were testing perfumes, extracts, gasoline experiments, sexual supplements, cell phone irradiation, nonsense stuff that everybody can agree on that they shouldn't be testing.
Potato chips. I'd like to be a part of that experiment as a volunteer, but I'm just saying the government wouldn't be forcing me to do that. So what can our viewers do to support you guys in this, and how do they get in touch with their representatives to make sure that they get behind the FACT Act?
We'd love them to check us out on Facebook. Whitecoatwaste.org is our website, whitecoatwaste.org. They should contact their representatives and tell them to get behind the FACT Act.
Is there information on there about the local representatives, or where would they find information about how to contact their local representatives?
They can if they go onto Facebook or onto our website, they can go into our petition page and get directly in touch with their congressmen in their own states.
Fantastic. All right. Anything else you guys want to add?
We encourage everybody, especially in the wake of the USDA blackout scandal, that the most important thing we can do right now is to increase transparency by supporting the FACT Act.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for all that you do, for your passion and chasing all these things down, and for letting us all know that it's out there.
Thanks so much for having us.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we have the incredible story of Mickey the monkey.